We talked last October about the Michigan-Canada trade relationship and about all of the jobs that depend on moving goods back and forth across the border. We talked about a bridge, and we're here again to talk about a bridge. In light of the many millions of dollars spent since then by our friends, the owners of the Ambassador Bridge, the Maroons, reported last Friday $31.3 million since May on this project, setting a record by, I think, $12 million for the most ever spent on a single side in a referendum campaign. I was thinking, Lieutenant Governor, that we should get the equivalent of the debt clock that just sort of ticks up and up and up the amount that the Maroons are spending on this project. When we talked last year, Michigan-Canada trade, the most recent figures showed that there had been $63 billion in two-way trade. It grew to $70 billion last year in 2011, an increase of about 10%. 43% in fact over the past 2 years, which is really quite remarkable. It's setting the pace in terms of the US-Canada trade relationship. And the number of Canadian tourists visiting Michigan grew from 2010, when 1.4 million of us came to Michigan, to 2.4 million in 2011. We Canadians, it would seem, just can't get enough of pure Michigan. It's more important than ever that we act to ensure that reliable transportation capacity exists at North America's most important border crossing, which is, of course, Detroit-Windsor. Seeing an additional bridge built at Detroit has, for a long time, been Canada's #1 national infrastructure priority. Now, Michiganders should not embrace it for that reason alone. But I would hope, considering that we are one another's best customers, closest friends, strongest allies, that you would seriously consider the priority that we attach to it. Here's what you need to know about the agreement that Mr. Gilmer referred to from the Government of Canada's perspective. We have committed to bear full responsibility for the new international trade crossing. We'll pay for the interchange on the US side. We will backstop the private builder of the bridge. If there are cost overruns, they're on us. If tolls are insufficient, that's on us too. The state of Michigan pays nothing for this project and faces no liability. Canada will sign all contracts, another way of making it absolutely clear that Michigan faces no obligations. The bridge is being built to last for 125 years. Once it's fully paid for, and we estimate that that happens at about year 50, Michigan's revenue stream over the remaining 75 years will be approximately $50 million per year. That's in today's dollars. It will inflate nominally over time, literally for free. The absolute opposite of what it is the Maroon television commercials say. The governments of Canada and Michigan have repeatedly made clear that there will only be US or Canadian steel in the project. The Maroons know that too, and yet they keep running TV ads implying that the project will be made of Chinese steel. They should be ashamed of themselves. Your legislature, as legislators here know well, appropriates funds for education and public security. It doesn't have to appropriate any funds for this bridge because Canada is committed to paying for the whole thing and assuming full responsibility. We are not suggesting, let me make this clear, that we pay either for your education system or for a bridge. The Maroon ads are offensive to Canadians, which is partly explains why I'm as involved in this debate as I am. They imply that we will renege on our signed legal obligation and leave Michigan with the bill. These ads are paid for, I might note, by the same scoundrels who reneged for 6 years on the Gateway project, designed to improve US access to their bridge, taking the Michigan taxpayers for a $230 million ride. They only met their contractual commitment when they were thrown into jail twice in consecutive years. Let me assure you, the Government of Canada has made a binding commitment to the people of Michigan. We do not renege on our commitments. And when we say we will bear all of the cost and all of the liability so that Michigan bears none, we are telling the truth. I find it incomprehensible that anyone could be confused as to whether to believe the Maroons or the Government of Canada. Michiganders can seize this opportunity to bring this saga to an end, whether amending the Constitution would matter or not in legal terms is really beside the point. We all know that the Ambassador Bridge folks, if they're successful in this campaign, will continue their stunts. It's past time to move forward with this project. In addition to the sheet that I referenced, I've left another one, a fact sheet written in typically modest Canadian prose. You don't get from us television advertising in the state of Michigan. You get fact sheets, me, and a free bridge. And let's get together, let's share information, take ownership of this, and get it done.